It's the Thursday before the show, and outside of Wilmington, Ohio, horses and their trainers gather at one of the country's premier equestrian venues.
The show itself was started by Southern Ohio Quarter Pony in, I think, 2007. They initially signed up as a Tough Enough to Wear Pink event. They didn't like what they had to do, so the next year they didn't. And then we went right back to it once this one participant was gone, because it's a great organization. It is national, predominantly rodeos, but I saw one today that's a golf outing in West Virginia. I did check this year. After we got back with Tough Enough to Wear Pink out of California, we've always been in the top 10 in the nation. And this last year, we were just 10th. And I'm sure we're the largest event east of the Mississippi.
The 3-day Tough Enough to Wear Pink Horse Show is a charity event that donates 100% of the money raised to the Ohiohealth Foundation for Patient Assistance.
Our money goes directly to the patients through the Ohiohealth Foundation for anything other than medical. I know last year they cleaned houses for some patients. They furnished transportation to and from for treatments. But it was to help the patients be more at ease going into this new way of life they have.
I am 39 years old. I am a single mother of 2 little girls. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, Phoebe and Alice. I was diagnosed of October 3rd, 2017, so a little less than a year ago.
So I was diagnosed unofficially on December 22nd. I came in to the Bing, actually, to get an ultrasound. I thought I had a clogged milk duct because I was 30 weeks pregnant. So I came in and they checked it out, and right away the radiologist thought we might need to get a consult with a surgeon. They called Dr. Lilly in the room. And shortly thereafter they sent me off for a mammogram, which was a little stressful for me because, being pregnant and everything. And right after that, over to the room to do the biopsy. And after, I think, 3 hours of being there, the Friday before Christmas, the whole staff was still in the room with me. They said, we still need to get the pathology back, but it does look like a breast cancer.
About 2 years ago, they diagnosed me with breast cancer. And it was a little scary. Went through tests and had a port put into my chest and started chemotherapy. And just before I started chemotherapy, I found out that I also had bladder cancer.
You can tell when you let someone that has had experience with cancer and someone who's been very close to someone who's essentially kind of a co-survivor with someone who's had cancer, when you tell them that you have cancer, there's immediately this shift that goes through them, and you can see that this isn't going to be an easy road, because the people who have been close to it know that it's tough.
My husband was waiting for me with the rest of his family at a restaurant to have dinner before going to the Zulite, so I had to call him and tell him to go home so I could talk to him about it. Sorry. So he knew the second that I said, you have to come back home, we have to talk.
I had a friend who was diagnosed 2 weeks before I was, and she ended up having to have a total mastectomy. I only had to have a partial. What she went through, I mean, it was horrible.
I was pretty much raised with horses. My dad trained horses, judged horse shows, okay, both. So my sister and I, we started riding when we were very young, went to several different shows and so forth. Then I more or less took after my dad, and I started judging horse shows, which I still judge. It's just a great, great, great life with the horses.
The Tough Enough to Wear Pink Horse Show is a nationally sanctioned event with a full bill of classes: hunt seat equitation and hunter undersaddle, Western horsemanship, and Western pleasure. Western showmanship, ranch riding, barrel racing, and pleasure driving. This year, with over 400 horses competing in 70 classes, is one of the largest events in the show's history.
Well, like in our novice showmanship, our novice youth showmanship, we had 59 exhibitors. That's bigger than most of our world shows. Oh my gosh, I was telling Chip on my way over here, we've done the showmanship so far, so that's all I participated in or been able to judge, but I had some 90s, and that's pretty spectacular.
I'm Tim Snap, and we've been coming here for 8 or 9 years, give or take. We've missed a couple because of the Paint World show, but came this year to warm up one that we're taking on Monday down to Fort Worth.
There are changes, and this past Sunday, I sat down and put some things down on paper as far as the horse show goes, and some things that I know when they happened we thought weren't good, but it's been totally unreal with the show. Something happens not to our liking, and another door opens up, and we're going another direction or doing something, bigger and better. And that part of it is all due to our many, many, many great sponsors that we have.
The Tough Enough to Wear Pink Horse Show started with one simple mission: to support patients and their families as they navigate their journey from cancer, from diagnosis through treatment.
Parts of it aren't near as intense as you might think, and then other parts seem to be very intense. We're already started looking at next year. We'll have to sit down and figure out who we want to judge and try and hire them, what horse shows we might go to with our stuff and set up at. We will sit down and go through the show bill and evaluate each class, not only from a financial but popularity side of it. Yeah, it's intense. It comes together. It just does. And, a lot of the times we have to get out of the way and let it come together.
Right now, our committee consists of 9 people. Everybody, that's Chip and I included. Everybody volunteers their time.
I'm kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. I help check people in, but once the show actually starts, I make sure all the people are in their places where they're supposed to work. I create the work schedule from an all-volunteer crew, so everybody that works here is volunteer. We try to, sit back and relax a little bit since when the show's over and for a month or so, but then we have to jump right back in, start planning for next year, start talking to sponsors, folks who donate, whether it be silent auction items or the big ticket items, and a little bit of everything like that. So we only get a month or so off. With Chip and Kay, as there are, committee heads, it may even be more for them. It's always in the back of their minds.
Started coming the second year. I haven't missed one since the second year. I've brought 5 horses to 15 horses. When you haul on a weekend-to-weekend basis and you're trying to qualify for the World Show and go to all those big competitions and the Quarter Horse Congress is coming up, it just gets to be pressure. By the end of the season, there's a lot of pressure. Everybody's ready for a break. And this is our last show before the Quarter Horse Congress, so we come here for 2 reasons. We come here to support them, and we come here to prepare and get some last bugs worked out before the Congress.
Something unmistakable about the equine community. It's one big family. Our good friend Beth, a world-class judge herself, walked us around to introduce us to some of these people.
Vanessa, do you want to tell us where you're from and a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm from Miamisburg, Ohio, south of Dayton, about 40 minutes from here. I run show offices for different horse shows throughout the country and Canada.
For a long time now, right?
For a long time.
I mean, I know we worked together.
Yeah,
Yep.
17 years.
Yep.
Been very fortunate to be part of this organization since probably the second year that they had it.
This is our second year coming to the Tough Enough to Wear Pink show. I really enjoy coming to this and supporting their cause. And my daughter's showing here. Have a lot of fun. Really enjoy and look forward to doing this weekend every year.
Well, hi, I'm Joe Coulter. I am the announcer for the Tough Enough to Wear Pink horse show here for yet another year. And just love being up in the booth and talking about all the great horses and great show people that are here to help raise money for this great cause. Well, I actually did it for 4 years, I believe, and then I've taken a couple-year hiatus to work on some rodeo projects that I have going, but we actually adjusted those rodeo dates so that I could come back here and help out, and it's just an honor to be part of this project. Well, it's great. In the rodeo and horse business, I mean, people really, I think, when time comes, we come together to help each other out. And that rodeo company moved the dates of the rodeo so that I could come volunteer to be able to do this. Again, it's such a great cause. And the fact that the money that they raise here goes directly to patient assistance in the state of Ohio is just something that you have to do.
Yes. So I hear you've donated saddles over the years to this event. It's an amazing event, supports a great cause. This is what, your 9th saddle?
Yes.
This saddle
right here.
That's going to be donated?
Yep.
No, you're especially close to Kay and Chip as well.
I am.
You and
Kay
Gary
and Chip
both?
have been wonderful. Very, very dear friends.
Okay.
Very dear friends, and they take very good care of us. I just think cancer touches every family in America. and it's just a very good opportunity to come out and support them.
It means a lot. We've been touched with some cancer survivors and also some folks that have passed away. In fact, I think it was 4 years ago, a dear friend of ours was going to die of cancer, and she happened to die the day that we arrived here. So it was extra special that year. My wife showed in one of the classes for the survivors.
I think a lot of it has to do with supporting a great organization, and I think both of us, I know his mom passed away from cancer and my grandmother. It's a good program and a good way for everybody to come and support what they're trying to do.
My name is Ann Jones. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, and I'm very honored to judge this horse show this year. I have judged some different cancer fundraisers, but nothing as spectacular as this.
The show features classes such as ranch riding, undersaddle, western pleasure, and many more. But on Saturday night, there is one class in the category all its own, the Tough Enough to Wear Pink Sloppy Showmanship.
We used to have the Trainers Pink Challenge, where the trainers would dress up in the pink and the pink bras and wigs and so forth, and then we would, sell them. This year, instead of that class, we put in the Tough Enough to Wear Pink Sloppy Showmanship. Again, those exhibitors dressed up in different costumes, pink and so forth, and just did real crazy patterns. And we were fortunate enough to have a Ohiohealth doctor come and judge that special class for us.
Dr. Thomas Tex Anderson.
He was not familiar with horses whatsoever, but he played a long part and he did a fantastic job.
We had a set of rules that pertained basically to nothing. You could do anything you wanted to do. There was no required pattern at all. One of the rules was that you could be asked to give a urine test to test for drugs or any abnormalities. And the one exhibitor just took the judge's urine sample and gave it to him.
I brought my pee sample. You brought your pee. Thank you. We'll drug test it.
Unlike other classes, bribery is a part of the show. All in good fun, of course. The good doctor's heart was in the right place and donated the bribes back to the event.
And he's my thyroid doctor, and we talk about the cancer in the show and so forth, and just a very enjoyable individual. He'd be good. He doesn't know one end of a horse from the other to judge that class, and he fit the bill real well.
And his wife, I know, came with him, okay? She didn't help judge, but she was there, and after the class, I remember her comment to me was, now he has something to add to his resume.
So, I look for some really wild stuff in another year.
It was a great event, and what a wonderful event to recognize breast cancer and to raise money for breast cancer awareness for people undergoing breast cancer treatment. It was more than I thought, and what a wonderful event it was.
So I think a lot of days we meet with patients, and a lot of times we're part of their worst days, and then trying to focus on positives and making them better days. But beyond the medical care and treatments that patients may require, cancer and cancer treatment obviously affects all parts of their lives, whether it's with work, whether it's with their family, whether it's outside activities and vacations and travel. And I think that's some of the challenges that we face, is trying to allow for successful treatments, but also trying to minimize side effects, and also allowing patients to say, this too is important for me outside of the cancer realm. So there's a lot of services that we want to offer patients too that is above and beyond what I can offer in the office. And those are a lot of things that Riverside can help support with different programs, whether it's through massage therapy, acupuncture, support groups, and that's a long way where the Ohiohealth Foundation and with organizations like Tough Enough to Wear Pink provides not only gifts, grants, financial support to offer those services that we would otherwise not be able to offer our patients. It's not only just, there are a lot of side effects of cancer treatments and how we deal with those, sometimes through medicines, but again, there are ways to help minimize side effects of chemotherapy with acupuncture, with massage therapy. But sometimes it's a matter of setting up a patient with another patient that has gone through a similar experience.
I came back to the Bing to meet with my care navigator, Casey, and she kind of showed me around to different things here. She showed me the boutique, so that's where I went to get my wig and things like that, and everyone there was very kind. She showed me the integrative care facility, and I booked a massage immediately. Lee, who does massages over there, has the hands of an angel. She is amazing, and that was part of my self-care through all of this as well. I came for regular massages. I came for acupuncture when I had bad side effects. I came and consulted with a dietitian. Through all of this, I felt like every step of the way, someone was there for anything that I needed or had wanted. It's helped in immeasurable ways, I think.
Did take advantage of their wig shop. That was wonderful. That helped a lot. And they helped me find out a style that I felt would be good, and color. What color do you want? I had friends saying, go bold, change the color. I cowered, couldn't do it. She put the wig on my head and she then styled it for me, and it just made it look more like me. It was wonderful.
I've had lots of help with additional things like extra supplies and the food that I was getting, I was receiving, I thought was absolutely wonderful, given that I had a baby and I wasn't sleeping much at the beginning of treatment. Services like nutrition, I think it's really important from here on out for me to think about what I'm putting in my body for health reasons, much more so than aesthetic reasons. So, having somebody be able to guide me through how to best eat to preserve your body, take care of yourself. So that's also been very helpful.
One of the more difficult things for me was when I was bald. I had very long hair, and I was, used to always having long hair. And one of the interesting things is that I felt this strange kinship with bald men. We would give each other looks and nods, and kind of, they were always, I feel like it's an untapped market for people who want to talk about their beauty regimens. I didn't realize it until I started asking them what they all did, and they each had something different that they did when they shaved their head and that type of thing. So it was kind of a bonding experience with them, and neat and interesting. And I remember one day I was in the cafeteria at work, and I had a hat on, and I looked over and there was another man with the hat on, and it was really hot in there. So he took his hat off, and then I took my hat off, and we were both bald, and we just kind of nodded to each other, and the knowing, like, man, it's too hot to wear a hat in here.
And we have both the silent auction, which will run all weekend long, and then we finish that up around noon on Sunday.
Sister said now, don't you hurt me. I come from the place as you.
Then we also do a live auction. Okay, a lot of horse shows do not do that. Again, great sponsors donating big items for that. And we also have the wine tasting.
Well, Danny Mulford, and we're from Georgetown, Ohio, and shown horses for years. And the wife and I have been, we used to be here every year. We lost my wife 2 years ago, but this show was a special show for us.
Yep, and I remember even showing as a youth. I
Yeah.
remember you and Sue many years in Winfield, West Virginia. So I know you guys supported the show from its inception.
Yeah.
Then it really has that special meaning. I know they did a tribute to Sue in terms of a driving, or we're going to this weekend as well.
Absolutely. We had another Sue Mulford Memorial pleasure driving. She loved the driving.
Yep.
And she had one pink outfit she wore.
Yep.
And saved for this show.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are very serious competitors, show pretty much on a national basis, and have several world championships that they won. And Lisa rode in one of her mom's outfits, which there wasn't that much special about the outfit, but the fact that it was her mother's was very special. I think one of our other big, unique deals are our 3 special classes. We start with them, on Sunday morning and the Survivors Walk Trot. And seeing those people come through the gate, a lot of them we know personally, and getting to do what they love to do. This horse showing thing, it gets in your blood and you can't get it out. I don't care how many transfusions you get. And they're getting to do what they love to do. They have beat cancer at that time. They don't know when they might have their last class. And those exhibitors, if you look close enough, they'll be crying just as much as a lot of us around the outside of the pen. There's not very many dry eyes during that class.
OHF Pink Egg and Spoon coming up here. Molly's putting it on the paper right now as we speak.
Resume the normal jog.
Resume your normal jog, please. Resume the normal jog. Keep your eggs at eye level with no bend in the elbow.
That silly egg, pink egg and spoon, those are real eggs. They're not hard boiled. They will make a mess if they hit your saddle and break. But that's the Ohiohealth Foundation Pink Egg and Spoon. And we have one of our committee ladies and her 2 small children paint those eggs pink for us because we can't hard boil them and dye them. And then our follow-up class, which is the In Memories, that's for the people riding in memory of someone who didn't win the battle. As you saw, that was a rather large class. This year, I thought was interesting two scenarios that some people didn't around maybe know. But Lynn Putoff was writing in memory of her mother and father. She had won it for 2 years in a row. She was out after a three-peat, and you can bet your butt she was showing as hard as she could. She ended up third, Denny Mulford winning it. And that's some of the greatest people. The Mulford family from Georgetown. We had the presence to know Denny and Sue before her last bride. And for him to win the In Memories class in her honor, doesn't get much better than that.
You cry sometimes, but it's okay. You get frustrated. You pray a lot. And you have faith. For me, it was, I just kept saying, if it's my time, it's fine, but I'd like to stick around for a while.
When you're sick, or you're hurt, or you're scared, or you're worried, you need somebody to take your hand. You need somebody to be gentle with you and be patient with you and help you through that process. When we are able to stick with our patients and provide things beyond the hospital visit or the doctor's appointment or the radiation treatment, and we're able to help them get a wig so that they can feel pretty again, and be able to go out in public and live their life, because what you want to try to do is get people back to their best quality of life. It's pretty powerful when you can see how our programs help people take that back and empower them and have that control.
My first interaction with Ohiohealth in general was coming here to the Bing to meet with my doctor, my breast surgeon, Dr. Larry Lilly. And first and foremost, the Bing Center itself is just a wonderful building. It's calming, it's not hectic, and he had told me right away when I first had met him that no one's going to raise your daughters but you. My biggest fear in all of this was I just want to be around long enough that my 2-year-old will remember me, that she will have some memory of her mother, because that was the hardest part, trying to think that, my daughters might not know who I was, or who their mom is, And so when he told me that, I was like, this is where I need to be. This is where things are going to be okay for me, and I felt that immediately.
My outlook on life has changed in the most predictable way possible, I believe, and this is something I think about a lot. You always hear people say, do what you want now, pursue your dreams, tell people that you love them because you could be gone tomorrow. Like, everybody says that and it just goes in one ear and out the other, and it's not something that you really think about. And with this, what I really thought about is stop leaving things for tomorrow is something that I've really been telling myself now and really mean to continue to do that with my life.
one of our positions that I don't know what the heck we would do without him. And we have, without a doubt, the best horse show photographer in the world, Mike Price. Mike's been with us since we moved to Wilmington, and you saw, I mean, my gosh, the hours that he put in, the number of pictures that he took. 3 days after the show, they were up and online. And Mike's really hands-on with our committee too, as far as ideas. What if we look at this? What if we look at that? He's just a very invaluable person. And he tells us every year, I'm your paparazzi for the weekend. Everything seemed to run very smooth. People seemed to get along. People seemed to have a good time. And, you know, I go to a lot of shows throughout the summer and set up our booth. And they're not all having fun. Matter of fact, a lot of them aren't having fun at all. And we want ours to be a fun horse show, one that you look forward to coming back. And we've gotten a lot of people saying, we'll be back next year.
Well, if you haven't been here, you're missing out because it's just a great opportunity. I mean, the people, it's different than your normal horse show. Everybody shows, has a good time. Everybody gets along with everybody, but we all remember why we're here. It's a very emotional trip.
Yep.
Well, it gives people hope. You know, there's a lot to be said in Tough Enough to Wear Pink, because part of surviving from cancer, half the battle is attitude. And there are a whole lot of people that don't realize how tough you have to be to survive. Survival doesn't just happen. You have to work at it. And this is a testament to all the people that have fought the good fight and that now are survivors and can come and can celebrate that, and the people that support us, because it really and truly does take a village.
Our annual touch base with the generous individuals with Tough Enough to Wear Pink, but it's something that we witness 365 days a year. And I can tell you on a day-to-day basis, things that would not be possible for our patients and for those additional services if it wasn't for the generosity of Tough Enough to Wear Pink. It's very simple that those things wouldn't be part of our cancer care.
Miracles happen every day, and I truly feel that what happened for me, that it was something that could be taken care of. You know, many years ago, that wasn't the case. And there weren't a lot of places that supported women who were going through it. You've got these wonderful support systems that are opening up. The word needs to go out to women that there are people out there who can help you. Don't feel like you're alone in this, because you're not.
Going forward, I'm looking forward to seeing them grow and seeing them hopefully have families of their own one day, and seeing their careers and what they become, and just enjoying that, and kind of, you know, taking moments to enjoy the little things every day.
If it saves one life, causes one person to get checked, or one person to fight harder, it's all been worth it.
You know, we're very proud of the dollars that we've donated. But when you go to looking at a research project, the $500,000 is just a stepping stone.
You know, and I think we all understand that research is very important, but again, we want to help the people that are hurting right now.
People in a life-threatening situation or illness, not sure what life is going to be like afterwards. They not only need, they deserve the help. And that's where it's at.
A wiser man than me once said, "Strength does not come from winning. Your struggles develop your strengths. When you go through hardships and decide not to surrender, that is strength."